Man. Good morning, everybody. Hello. Starting a little bit late. We were talking a little bit behind the scenes, and I realized we had already started. So, hello, everybody. Hello, meant to be our reading. Hello, this is our autism garden. Hello, Mel Nettie. Hello, Van Life with Gina Payne. Hello, Ardez. Hello, Slow Momentum. Hello, Linda. Hello, Lily. Hello, Uncle Lisa. Hello, Van Life Rocks. Hello, Linda Okie. Let's see here. Hello, Uncle Lisa. Hello, Thrifty Angela. Hello, Artist. Thank you for the Red Daydream. Hello, RV Weekends. I think that's pretty close to Cup. Oh, K&R, Weibo, Van Life. Yeah, I got you, Van Life. Awesome. All right. So, first, I just want to say I got a little announcement, and I already shared it with them. But you guys on Van Life Live yesterday, I said if somebody made a picture of me like Daydream riding the bear, of me riding the tiger, that I would get a tattoo of it. And one of you guys, Aaron Jemison, already came through and did it. So here it is. That's what I'm going to be getting, a tattoo of me riding the tiger. So probably to celebrate the completion of the minivan, I'm going to go ahead and get that tattoo. So hello, guys.
Hello, hi everyone. That's super exciting. That's an awesome tattoo.
Yeah, that is a good, very good tattoo.
I think it's gonna be glorious.
Yes. And I been following you guys on Instagram for a while, and then I realized because I started watching Chrome on Van City Van Life a while ago, but I was looking through his videos the other day, and I saw you guys in a couple of the videos, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. We met him at El Campo in Quebec, the van gathering by GoVan that they have. And then he was just pretty cool, and he filmed a tour of our old van, which was really awesome because sent a lot of like new people our way, and we got to meet a lot of new people. And he's just a fun guy to hang out with. But then we just kept bumping into him, and he's a bit of a character. Well, I'm sure a lot of people. Yeah. He's a cool guy and like was kind to our channel.
Yes, very good.
Yeah. He seems that way on camera for sure. So it's good that he's that way off camera as well.
He's a very genuine person. Yeah.
Pretty much. The only thing you don't really see a lot of is like the hours of editing.
The work, the actual work.
Everyone hanging out and him sitting editing, working his butt off.
Oh yeah, well I can tell in his videos. It shows in his videos. Anybody that's done editing, you can see the work that he puts into it.
So yeah, he's a cool guy. I haven't seen him in a while, but hopefully.
Yeah. Your videos are pretty good too, though. Like the latest one you put out when you're at the Mayan jungle, there, and you climb that pyramid.
It was terrifying. I don't know if it comes across as good, but yeah.
It was. Thank you. That's really nice of you to say, because we've always had lots of ups and downs on YouTube, and we're a slow growing channel, but we do like to share. And I'm self-taught, and I do most of the editing because it's more, as we mentioned, more my passion. But it's a huge learning curve, and I think we found our style recently in that. But I appreciate it. It was weird to edit because it was the last adventure we'd had before all this. So, but it was great to share. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yeah. And Lynn, no, I do not have two channels. Not that I know of. Anyway, when you guys were there, like you said it was terrifying. Was it the howler monkeys that were terrifying?
The howler monkeys were definitely terrifying, and you could just imagine like being in the jungle, being like an explorer who was first there and hearing these noises and being like, I don't want to go further into this jungle. No. But like the steps on the pyramid they're just so steep, and I don't think even the video shows exactly how steep it was. It's easy going up because you're just like climbing, but then when you're going down, and like, because they say if you're afraid of heights, don't look down, and you have to look down to go there. So yeah, it was
wow.
And and our legs were definitely burning. We didn't capture it real time enough, but we came upon a pyramid near the end of the day, and we were so tired, and we saw it, and we thought, this is the big pyramid, we're gonna do it, and we like rockied it up, ran up, get to the top, and we turned around, and we saw that it actually was not the biggest pyramid. There were like 2 other ones bigger.
I know, and then you had the other one.
so we definitely did go up the bigger one, but we felt like big goofballs.
And chimps at the same time.
It was amazing, and the nice thing about that area is that it actually would be very van life friendly. So we didn't have our van because we were backpacking, but we rented a car to test it out. So I do recommend parts of Mexico. Like I do recommend it for van life.
Yeah,
Yucatan Peninsula definitely seems.
Yeah.
It's a long way to go, but I think once you get there, there's a lot of opportunities, and we saw a lot of vans down there.
Right. So if it weren't for YouTube, you wouldn't have climbed that other pyramid.
No, probably not. We climbed a lot of little ones before.
In the day,
it'd been a long hiking day because we took the long route and then we wander off a lot.
Right. But you were talking about it being steep. It looked to me like the height too of the steps, like it was like 2 foot, wasn't about per
it's
step.
definitely out of whack. Like I think like it must have been designed to like really like tire you out so that you're like grateful or thankful when you get to the top.
And I'm not sure that there's not a lot of information, unfortunately, on like the Mayan culture, and especially when you're at some of these sites, they're not built up for tourism, which is good. Yeah. But there's not information. But
they really encourage you to get a local guide, so there's not as much information. But
I don't think all of them are steps up. I think it might have just been the design, but it was really cool because you can't go up all of them. So I highly recommend it. If anyone's thinking of going, we're happy to share the information.
Right. That's really awesome. And I think I commented in there, but I want to know, like, do you feel some sort of energy when you're like that ancient, when you're just standing there? Can you kind of picture what it was like back then?
Yeah, you definitely can. The year before we did the same thing, just escaped Canadian winter, and went to the Yucatan, and we went to Chichen Itza, which is like the biggest like tourist draw ruins, and there were just so many people there that it kind of took away from it. But because this was so far off the beaten path, there were so many times when we had it to ourselves, and it was just that energy of when you go into a place that it's like people used to live there, and you can kind of like walk through the foundations of the houses and be like, oh, like how did this get used? And you can picture somebody like stepping out every morning and seeing their neighbors. And
we're kind of big history dorks, but it's true. I think, I don't know, maybe it's a little existential or too hippie of me, but I think you nailed it. Like there is a different energy around older things, I think. And I've noticed it, like even like at the Colosseum, we backpacked around Europe a bit, and some of the things we've seen, but then I'm kind of into that kind of vibey stuff, I guess. I don't know how deep you go down, but yeah, I think you can definitely feel like a respect for the people that were here before us, and like you can learn about how we got to where we are now through all the different real life stories, and like history is all just made up of people making choices.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Because I've always been fascinated by history too. Because you just see so many points in history where if one thing would have changed, like how World War I started, if he wouldn't have been assassinated, that would have never happened, which wouldn't have led to World War II, et cetera, et cetera. So
and maybe if he'd gotten into art school.
If he got in art school,
It's all like real moments, which makes you think about the moments you're living now and what you.
Like well, no, I mean, no, I've talked about it. People on here, like, people have started businesses and stuff like that. It's somebody saying something to them that, oh, hey, this is good. Can I buy that from you or something like that? And it completely changes that person's life. So if you can change it for good, you can also change it for bad.
Yeah, maybe that fittingly ties in to probably a lot of people here doing like van life or alternative lifestyle, is that we've set ourselves on a different historical course, and maybe mankind.
Maybe
It's a big movement, getting bigger.
Yes, it is, and it's uh, the other people I watch on YouTube are homesteaders. This is people wanting to get back to living simpler lives and not being so concerned with material possessions.
Mhm.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, that's actually very true. Well, you just don't need a lot of material possessions, and I find what we do have, we value more. So there are dogs in the background. You may hear
That's
them.
fine. That's
They're
fine.
people.
That's not just all that's in the background because I've been watching your stories and well, the pig got you pretty good the other day when you were
Oh
you were
yeah,
out there.
we've become farmers, or we're farm
Farm
sitting for
sitting?
my
Yeah.
sister, or we were off and on. But they've got pigs and chickens, and then I guess
Turkeys.
turkeys too. And it's been actually really fun because for nomads, we never get to do any of that kind of route, like any of that stuff. So, and the animals have been really nice to hang out with. I'm glad the
Yeah.
pig tent is really hitting home. I'm glad selling us.
Yeah, man. I I'm starting to get into watching stories and like when yours pop up, even if it's later in the day, I try to go through the whole thing because
Oh, I'm
Madness
because
sorry.
wild.
I ramble.
yeah,
But
but that's fine. Like it because it's showing me like what that's meant to be about, and it's learning that platform and how that works, and that's part of what if you guys want to look at how to do a good Instagram, your guys' Instagram is really good. Like how to add all the stuff and all that kind of stuff. So
thank
go take a look at theirs, and the bot will be running their link for their Instagram too. So
that's so nice of you. We did over the years.
sorry.
Oh, sorry. Hang on.
no problem.
Over the years, we did a lot of research about algorithms and how to do it. And because we started doing backpacking, it's been almost 6 or 7 years of the training process on how to have a decent Instagram account.
Right.
And I probably put way too much time into it, but I'm able to get out of it. I don't necessarily make money on Instagram, but I get a lot of my graphic design clients, and I'm able to sort of leverage that into writing and that kind of thing. But it takes a lot of time, but I'm so grateful that I get to share with people. And then if people tell me they enjoy it, then it's just like the best thing in the world.
Oh yeah, and that's what I was telling you. Like the stories, if you took those and put those in a vlog, it's already enjoyable as it is. Like, um, and you guys are, for those that don't know, if you go check out her story because it's not too much on her YouTube right now, but you recently tore the van that you were in apart so that you could fix it all, fix the rust, and put it back together. So you just got the insulation back in. So it's been fun to watch it. And so mine's gonna start in like a little over a week. So it's fun to watch you build yours. And I'm gonna be building mine about the same time, the inside of it. So
That's exciting. I hope you have a bit better time. We did like a DIY build about almost 2 years ago now, and it was DIY, and we didn't really know what we were doing, and we learned as we went, like a lot of people do. And I think actually, in hindsight, a lot of it held up. A lot of it was just great, but we really mucked up how we fixed the roof, and there was so much rust and so much had to be cut out, and it had basically been leaking the whole time.
yeah,
So now it doesn't leak anymore.
For now.
that's always awesome when it doesn't leak anymore.
Yeah, but I'm excited to see how your build goes along though, because I only know what I've seen. Like,
Well,
peeking.
this one right here is a cargo van that I'm in right now, but I'm actually going into a minivan. So I'm going to go into a 2000 Windstar,
That's
Oh,
awesome.
very nice. Yeah.
and
That'll
I've got my solar panel there and a diesel heater up front. So
That makes sense. That's awesome. Well, I'm excited to see how that goes then, because it's nice to be like in it together.
yeah,
I feel crazy though, because the other van, I miss my home and I miss being in my home. But I know soon enough I'll have hopefully a new and improved home.
oh yeah. Well, I was going to ask, like, is there stuff that you took out that you're definitely not putting in, and is there stuff that you're able to reuse?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. We're pretty militant about our reusing of stuff. Like we didn't buy any new insulation. Like we bought some new spray foam to keep it into place, but I think all of the panels that we took out managed to go back in, and we have piles and piles of wood just sitting waiting for that perfect spot to be able to put back in.
Which is nice because it's going to lower the budget for this whole van. I'm trying to think. Our counters in our kitchen, we're actually going to go with a couple like IKEA lowers. I've heard mixed reviews on them, but we did have some IKEA in ours, and it held up all right. And we're not doing this build to last really beyond 5 years.
For something,
just because of the like we have an older van, and we probably will still do van life, but this build. So we're definitely going to just get pre-made cupboards because we mucked up our cabinets last time, and we couldn't put drawers in because nothing was really square, and we couldn't really put cupboard doors, so it was silly.
Right.
But definitely we're going to do better on that, and I think tweak some things, but overall just fix the problems from before. Like we had a cassette toilet, and we're going to try a DIY composting toilet, but we're keeping the cassette toilet handy in case it
doesn't work out.
We both want to go at once. We probably won't bring it in the van with us, but it's worth it if someone doesn't have it.
Yeah.
The gifted cassette toilet. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could put that as your video, one of your videos, 1 bedroom, 2 bath van.
See,
that'd be amazing. And I mean, I guess if you keep the plunger bit closed of the toilet and fill it with water, you could actually have like a very terrible bidet or like a little bath bowl.
Right.
I don't recommend it. Buying 2 toilets and making a bidet in the van. These are bad ideas. Don't listen to us.
Interesting ideas.
Yeah, don't do. Yeah.
That's on the don't do list in the van. Yeah. Is there any other don't do's in the van that you would tell people?
Don't do. Oh, there's a lot of don't do's. Do pre-drill. Don't use that like really cheap cardboardy material on your kitchen wall because you can't clean it. I don't know what we were thinking. The price tempted us.
Right.
And I'm just gonna list through. Our first van build was just a series of like building one area out and then noticing that there'd be like 2 mistakes on the sides, and then basically covering that mistake and then creating a new mistake and then covering. So it was all a series of covering up things.
Covering up all the mistakes.
Yeah, but people, I don't know how, but people thought it was really cute, and something I learned, everyone will see your van much differently than you see your van.
Yeah. Some people might see some of your mistakes, but most people don't notice your mistakes nearly as much as you do.
But there can be so much pressure when you're building to like look as good as to be perfect, to like be amazing, to have all the nice things. But a lot of those Instagram shots, like our van, we try to keep it quite real, but you are seeing the shot at an angle to like make it look like a cuter home than it is. It is a bit of a show thing, as opposed to like you're not going to notice the tape that you can clearly see sticking out because we didn't use trim.
Yeah. Well, no, I was a painter for years, and so I had to learn in that. Because when you're painting and you're looking at something up close, you notice every little thing that somebody would never notice. And like, so now, since I've done it, like if I go into somebody's place, I can pick out like little things where they did just because I've done it for so long. That
even
it's like
up in the corner where no one's going to see it.
Yeah.
You just don't see that though. Yeah, I'm sure you don't bring it up.
No, I don't bring it up. I just kind of laugh to myself. I'm like, yeah.
Well, it's because you have a foot. That means your van. I have high standards for your van. I have high expectations.
Well, I have one on here where I painted the bumpers on this one that I have right now on my channel, and it was like a $7 can of paint, and it looks like it was a pro job. So
you're gonna come help us. You're coming to Ontario to help us.
Yeah. one day I may come up there to help you. I may for sure. I'm gonna try to get up there. I don't even have a passport right now, and that's gonna be difficult to get right now anyway. But
okay.
Hopefully we're done by the time.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think anyone's going anywhere.
yeah, but I definitely want to come up there and travel one day for sure.
It'd be nice.
So-
So you're. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say you're in Seattle, and Seattle looks beautiful though.
Oh yeah, it is. It is for these about 3 months out of the year is when it's the nicest, and that's why everybody puts up with it because it's usually like 75 to 80 degrees all summer long when the sun's out. So
That's not too different than Ontario, really.
yeah, we're about the same latitude. If you look at the globe, it's pretty close.
We get down a little bit here.
We're like the little dangle bit of Canada.
Yeah. So what's your favorite place that you've been so far? When you either with the van or when you've been out hiking, backpacking?
Okay, well,
Okay.
in the van.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I guess in the van last year when we went out east, we went to Cape Breton Island, which is at the end of Nova Scotia, and basically half of the island is a national park. And it's got really like good ocean views. And we found this amazing campsite by an abandoned house. And like we were literally like 15 feet away from this massive 200-meter drop into the ocean. And we just were the only ones there. And no one else came by the entire time we were there. And it's just have the place to yourself with this amazing view. That was probably
on my Overlander as well. That was, and I guess the backpacking is really tricky because we were talking about how much we love history. So traveling North America in the van's been very different for us because we used to pick places with a lot of history, and Canada does have history, but it's very different than like Italy and all that. I guess maybe one of our favorite places was like Croatia or mainland Greece. We weren't in the van at the time, but I wish I could go back there. Van life, like mainland Greece, because there's not a lot of tourists. There's so much history. Like, I'm sure there are Greek gods hiding all over there. But I think that might have been one of my favorite places. Oh, and the food. The food is amazing.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I can't really pick a favorite, though, because everywhere
has its
like
things,
surprises me somehow.
Right. No, I ask because you gotta write those stuff down on the list, guys. If somebody tells you there's awesome places where they're at, man, write them down on your list to go to for sure.
Oh yeah.
Jeez, yeah.
I mean, and we're happy to share. We do have, oddly enough, more of our content on YouTube is from our like backpacking, traveling, hosteling days. So we're happy to share that information with anyone. We're big advocates for sustainable tourism, but also like educational tourism. Is that what it is? Or it doesn't sound cool, but it is. It is very cool.
Right.
We're happy to be helpful. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, everyone. I'm sorry.
It's all good. No, I understand what you're saying. You want not just a travel vlog, but for you to learn something when you watch your travel vlogs.
Yes.
For a long time, we started as an educational like travel channel, and that didn't go so well. So we've changed over the years. But our whole thing in the beginning was always be curious. And even though we don't like throw that motto in people's faces anymore, I've been thinking of doing it again. It is at the core. It's just always be asking why something is the way it is, and always be like seeking to learn about your surroundings. And I mean, you can do it in a historic city, but you can also do it in nature. I mean, there's so much to learn about the plants and the animals and geography and geology, all the ologies and biology.
Right.
Just throw another
Everything,
one in.
Yeah.
So that's still at the core of our channel, but it's kind of just at the core of who we are, because that's probably even as a big reason why we fell in love, a big reason why we're friends and still married, just like how we roll, I guess.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, thank you, Van Life with Gina Payne. Thank you so much. So,
I know.
yeah. What sparked, like, what was your inspiration, or what sparked you to start your YouTube channel?
Ooh. That was so long ago now.
Yeah.
I guess it was wanting to share our adventures with people. It was a bit, what's that when you multiple personalities in the beginning, because we both did comedy. So I think we wanted to do some sketches, like totally different from what we do now. Some like planned out pre-written sketches. And then we wanted to show our travel adventures in a more heavily produced manner. And then we found out about vlogging and then got the feel for that and very quickly realized that that was the best way to get our message across. But yeah, the inspiration I think to start the channel was to make comedy videos in Toronto. Great, but that was 7 or 8 years ago.
And many versions of the channel later.
Right. Well, that'll be interesting then, because you guys were talking before you're thinking about starting a podcast. So I'm hoping there's probably going to be some funny stuff on there that you guys do too.
I hope.
Oh, definitely.
I hope so too. I also. It is something I think over the years we've learned that we went away from the comedy and we're all about like trying to hit the right beats as a travel vlogger and as a van life vlogger. And now I think we're learning more that it's just something we really enjoy. Like it is how we met and doing sketch and improv and stand up, and it's fun. And the whole van life community and the YouTube, like it can get very serious sometimes and get very stressful. And we kind of like to take the piss out of things. Sorry, is piss a bad word? I'm sorry if it is.
No, it's not. It's not. But I like that though. I like that though. You know, I enjoy people that do that. Like, you know, like how Dave 2D does the roast. Like I find the funny in what he does. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. It's fun, and I think it helps motivate people because as we mentioned, it's so stressful, and there's this like sort of self-imposed imaginary level of perfection you have to hit, and social media brings a lot of like pressure and a lot of like trying to be cool, I guess. I'm trying to think of the word, but and van life can really, like, there's just a lot of beautiful van life accounts out there that can make it seem impossible that you could ever do that. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
They make it seem like the bar is crazy high and unattainable, and it's completely attainable, 100% attainable.
Yeah.
To do it and to have a nice van and to like it's media, right? It's the news.
Exactly. And that's a lot of people tell me they like it because I'm doing it from not having that much too. You know, I'm doing it from things. I think I want to start calling those in ads.
In ads?
Instavans.
Oh, Instavans. Oh yeah. That's cool. Well, that's something that I really enjoyed about you. Just when you first reached out, I was like, this is just like a person, a real person who's not trying to be more than who they are, but who you are is interesting and watchable and nice. So it was nice. Like I personally dig your style over some of the heavily, because you don't know what's real and what isn't, and it's great to inspire you. And I really respect their hustle and their content. But in terms of like who I might actually be like friends with as a real person, it's the more like human
real
channels, the ones that seem like people.
Yep. And Aaron, I did it earlier, but just because you're here now, there we go. There's me riding the tiger again. That's the guy that made it. Yeah, he's only 8. He said he's only 8 away from 10,000 right now. So.
Nice. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
He's way cooler.
Yeah. So no, I have a lot of people that come in here all the time that drop in. It's kind of crazy to see for me on my end, but so what would you say your number one item is in a van when you set off? Like, what's one thing you think everybody should definitely have in their van?
Oh man. Okay, I do have something. It's very random, excluding like my own, like a cat and the laptop and that kind of stuff.
Right.
We bought like just a bin that fit in our sink, a plastic bin that fit in our sink, and we just seem to use it all the time. Like we'll use it as a drain board, and then if we're going to drive, it just slides into the sink, because realistically there's always some form of dishes out on your counter. And also we just throw everything, like all the random bits in it, and then it just goes in the sink. So that's like very specific. But that bin, many times I've been like, this is the best thing in the van. Because if you're outside, you just throw everything, and it's just like a little plastic bin, but it's the size of our sink and it holds everything. It's my favorite thing. It's the truth. You can have a more logical favorite thing, but
I mean, I think it's other things are just pretty obvious things, like a comfortable bed, bug netting is good.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I mean, depending on the time of the year, I guess you don't need bug netting all the time.
Like stretchy cord. If something doesn't like fit where it wants to, just like get some eye hooks or eye hooks, thin little stretchy cord from the fabric store, and you can just like anything can just stick to the wall. Anything. Bin, elastic cord. You don't even need anything else in your van, actually.
Right.
A couple good bins. But yeah, those are the most practical, like specific to vans, probably.
Right.
I mean, that's okay too.
Yeah.
So is this the first van you guys started in?
Physical van, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, we were in apartments in Toronto before, and when we moved in together originally, we were in a 1-bedroom, and then we took our first big backpacking trip. And that's when minimalism crept in to our lives. And we realized that we'd done 4 months in a backpack. So we moved back to Toronto after that and went to a bachelor. And then we were in bachelors for like the next years.
Yeah.
However long that was. And we were downsizing before. And we almost went full nomad. And then because of the cat, we went with a van. So this is our first experience with van life. But again, that was almost 2 years ago. So, but Charlie's good. He's holding on. He was a good price. He's our boy for now.
For now, yeah.
For now, what is your do you guys already have a plan of what you want next? Like your dream one, or what you want next?
We have like a loose life plan.
Like I think we would probably go down a size, maybe. I mean, not to a minivan, but just like an Astro.
Yeah. I think we definitely love off-grid, minimal, like tiny home living. So I think if finances allowed and life allows in the next few years, we might do like a shipping crate, tiny home base to work. Because I do art as well, I would love a studio just sometimes, and then a smaller van. Because once you really get used to the van and the freedom that has, I don't think we could ever not have that. So I think a smaller van and then a tiny home, but that could be like 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. You know, especially with COVID, like our plans were so more goal oriented. Like, you know, we want to accomplish this goal. We'd like to have this once. We want to establish our like own personal businesses. But yeah, I don't know what we do, but definitely smaller 4-wheel drive, like go anywhere kind of rig, and then a more permanent thing, maybe with a better toilet that doesn't have to be dumped as often.
It'd be nice.
Yeah, my dream one after the minivan is going to be a used 4x4 ambulance and build that up, because then I can go anywhere with it. And it's got storage on the outside too.
Yes, exactly. That's
we really looked at ambulance like the year before we bought our van. We had thought ambulance
was the way to go. And
we thought step truck. But then we found Charlie, and he just was there. Right. It worked. But that'll be really cool, an ambulance, because they're pretty durable. And I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that they have like a high turnover rate. So usually if you're buying a used one, it's like being sold before it's been run to the ground.
Right. Well, because sometimes they have to spend their budget, so they'll get rid of a older vehicle, but also they're also going to be maintained too, because they are taken in and then taken care of, so they make sure they stay maintained because it's cheaper to maintain them.
Yeah.
So
That'll another plus. Well, that's even cooler.
and,
I know.
and hello, Bob the Raptor and Joe. These are my Raptor friends. They review food.
I love
Oh.
raptors. Oh,
Any kind of
raptors,
yeah.
actually. In our
Dinosaur
last,
or bird.
oh, I'm going to totally geek out. Speaking of raptors,
Go ahead.
in
Go
our
ahead.
last video, we got a clip. It's terrible quality, but I'm walking down and a big, like, turkey-esque bird runs in front of us. But
Yeah.
it totally looks like a dinosaur. Like, so much like a dinosaur. I
Well,
mean,
that's what they are. That's what birds are, as dinosaurs. So
it looks so creepy watching it because you can especially with the chickens we're watching, if you really like look at them. Sometimes I find myself looking at them and being like, "You are a dinosaur!" Like they run and they're little beady dinosaur eyes. But yeah, it's just the thing I think about sometimes.
No, it's awesome. I do that too. So don't feel alone. My mind goes off on. I'm like, why are stop signs red? You know, that kind of stuff.
There's a lot to think about, and fortunately, being in the van gives you a lot of time to think about.
Yes, it does.
And it's definitely good. But I guess, as Chrome says, there are a lot of weirdos around here. So, so I'm not surprised you're also a little weird like us, maybe.
Well, I do.
feel like some people watching might be a little weird too.
I do have the sticker in here. Let's see.
Stickers.
Yeah, I got some new ones recently. But how long have you been doing YouTube?
2000. I think YouTube tells me that we started our channel in 2014.
Yeah.
Which seems, but then
for
like
a year we didn't do anything.
Like the first videos are basically slideshows because I was learning video editing as I was also putting videos out, and then it gets weird. It gets weird in there for a bit. We do have a sketch for a Halloween. We did a 4-part possessed doll series in our apartment.
That's awesome.
So weird. And for the record, we do plan to like get better, to release every Sunday, and to finally, get our butts in gear with this, because I think that's probably been a huge contributor to why we're so slow to grow. That we've been all over the place, literally, but also in terms of style. But we're gonna get better. Now's the time.
Now is the time. So what is your what are the businesses that you guys are trying to start or already started?
Ooh.
Sure. It's a lot of freelance stuff. I like to write, so I have a bunch of Fiverr gigs that I've actually started to take off in the last little bit.
Ad copy a bit.
Yeah, so I get some freelance ad copy every once in a while, and I self-publish the Kilroy Adventures on it's on a bunch of different like e-store platforms, but it's just something I just put together in short stories, like fantasy comedy at its finest. So that's
I
me.
think they're good, but I'm your wife, so who knows?
Right.
And so you're like freelance writing of anything and copy as well. And then I do a freelance like graphic designer, and I was doing some brand consulting, but I missed like the tactile things. So I hopefully once the van build's done, I'm going to launch like a print store. Like I'll be doing my own prints and print on clothing, reverse tie-dyed this bad boy. So much more like artistic maker type things, because we were in hospitality doing comedy before all this. And then we do Van Life Ontario as well, which is more of a community, but it will be sort of like an events business as well. But then COVID, so
right.
We are able to have something in Ontario this summer, but we're just getting all the information and details together. right now.
So if you're going to be doing printing on shirts, then if somebody's got a channel and they want shirts made after you get going, that's something that you could do.
I think I could do. Well, actually, I'm working on. I could do that. I'm working on block carving, so I'll be carving the stamp and then printing that myself onto shirts and paper and things. But I've done a couple logos and stickers for a couple different van lifers. So that is a lot of my clients actually come through Instagram, seeing that, which is nice because it's nice to have word of mouth, because I don't like selling it. It's tricky, and especially with like branding and logos in van life, a lot of people are starting out and they want the whole, the logo and the really lovely brand, and that's really important, but it also comes at a cost because it takes, so I often consult myself out of clients because I say, take a little time to build your brand yourself and then invest the money when you're sure you want to invest the money in it.
Yeah.
That was a roundabout way of saying I'm probably not very good at my business. So I'm going to sell my but yeah, I guess we sort of, part of van life was getting to pursue our creative passions, because we were creatives, performers and writers and makers, and life wasn't working the other way either. So
Right.
it was true, but sentimental tying in there. But good old van life. It lets you do so many things if you work hard.
Right. What was one of the funnest performances you did back when you were doing comedy skits?
Oh man, it's tricky because sometimes when you're doing stand-up, it's just you on the stage, and you usually will have 5 minutes, and if they're not liking it, it's terrible. But when they are just hanging on your every word and you can just captivate an audience and they're laughing, that energy is amazing. So I don't know if I can think of one specific performance, but one of my favorites was I did an episodic long form improv show at one of the theaters here in Toronto, and it was 4 episodes of a restaurant, but it was improv, so it was the same characters one night a week that you had to carry on. So you just had to become a character and then be able to do whatever was needed for that show and then remember it and call back. But that was personally my favorite.
I mostly did sketch. So I performed with a troupe called Smells Like the 80s. And one of the guys who's in the troupe, he's on Letterkenny, which is a show I think it's starting to percolate down into the States, but he plays the character Squirrely Dan. But we were around for 10 years in the Toronto comedy scene, and we did a bunch of Toronto sketch fests, which are great shows to do. But we opened up for Rhett and Link when they did a tour up in Canada for a fundraiser for something at the University of Toronto. I can't remember what, but that was probably the biggest show that I played, and it was a great audience, full auditorium, 500 seats. It was great energy and really fun.
The first time you met my mom, he was dressed as a unicorn, a slowly more drunk and more belligerent unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
What did you have to say about that?
I'm married to her.
They were very impressed. They thought it meant that he was a good guy.
That's awesome. Awesome.
So that's dating advice. Just if you're meeting your girlfriend's mom for the first time.
Wear a unicorn outfit.
Yeah. Instant marriage.
I think you were right that it's percolating down here, because Nomad Unbroken says Letterkenny rocks.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Yeah, and Rhett and Link are pretty funny YouTubers.
Yes, yeah. And this was years and years and years ago, so they've come a long way since then.
One of my favorite comedy shows is from up there, Trailer Park Boys. I love that show.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Actually, you might like Letterkenny then. It's very similar, I feel.
It's a Prairie's version of that. So yeah.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah. What would you say your favorite route to drive on has been? Your favorite road like view wise or just
Oh,
favorite drive?
I feel like we're cheating because it's probably the Cabot Trail on Cape Breton Island, but that's like a road designed to be. It's not designed, but that's a super beautiful road that basically goes around the whole Cape Breton Island on Canada's east coast in Nova Scotia.
Yes.
And you're basically just going up and down into the highlands with like the Atlantic and the Gulf of, I think said Mexico, Gulf of the St. Lawrence.
Yes.
Up there. So you're just basically like mountain on one side and ocean, sea, Gulf on the other. But I feel...
Also, just north of us where we are now and where we're building is an area called the Muskokas. And it's basically just like cottage country, but it's just a lot of like thousands of lakes and just untouched forest. And it's just great. Yeah. So it's just great to drive all around there to explore. And it's like really close and the scenery is really good. Just it does get really crowded in the weekends in the summer with tourists, but like when you're this close to it and you can go up on the off times, it's great.
Yeah. It's like
I recommend that for sure.
It's like Canada showing off as a country. As nature, it's like some of the what we've got to offer the world.
That's Canada's Instagram picture, basically.
Yeah, like Algonquin, that it's beautiful up there. But yeah, a lot of rich cottages too. So it's hard to find some places to park. You kind of need to push through the cottage country, and then if you go too far north, you'll be lost. Yeah. Don't drive too far north.
Well, I was gonna say, I think it'd be cool once you guys get the van done, if you guys, because you like the history and stuff like that, you guys should go out to Oak Island.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think isn't it haunted as well?
It probably.
Probably. I know. That's something we should think of. That's a perfect idea, actually, because we haven't actually spent that much time exploring Ontario, just because.
Well, that's out east.
Well, I guess that's true. I am wrong there. I'm completely wrong. But I'm thinking now because of the COVID stuff.
Because I was thinking it's not too far from you guys where you're out there, is it?
Yeah.
No, it's on the East Coast, but they're in their own little bubble for COVID.
Oh, I'm thinking of Sleeping Boy Island. I have, but that is still a good idea.
Yeah, there's a lot of colonial history, in the eastern part of Ontario, which is good because Kingston area. Some of the time, we've always just kind of been going through that area on the way to somewhere else. But yeah, there's a lot of historic places that we could spend more time and sneak into.
I feel like plans are just so up in the air now.
Man.
Yeah,
Quebec.
It's you don't know.
I was gonna say Quebec. I know 2 channels up there. There's Justin and Christina's RV Van Life that's up there. Yeah, and then Quebec Homestead. She's up there.
Oh, cool.
So there's 2 different channels up there.
Well, and even Quebec is Ontario seems to be doing all right. Manitoba seems to be doing all right. Our neighboring places, we can't go south yet. And Quebec seems to be having a bit of a rougher time. So it's sort of, we don't know, you don't know what's going on. And then you don't want to get too far away in case something, but almost fortunately in a way, my sister's having twins and she's due in October. And part of the really great thing about the lifestyle is that you can be with family if they really need you. So we kind of have a good excuse to not go too far and not feel like we're missing out too much on that. But it's not a crazy adventure, but I suppose twins with a 2-year-old is a crazy adventure.
Yeah.
We don't have any
twins and a farm. That's kind of tough.
Yeah, we're already told that I'm on overnight duties, and I'm okay with this because I love my niece and I love my sister and my brother-in-law. So it's
not the twins yet.
Not baby A and baby B. But I did learn a fun fact: if you have nieces, all nieces, you have nieces. If you have all nephews, you have all nephews. If you have a mix, you have niblets.
Niblets.
Niblets. And
wow.
Which is a crazy term.
And you can call them your niblets, and you can use that word and sound really cool.
I have a mix of both. I have to think. I've got 4 nieces, and gonna be, I think, 2 nephews here pretty soon in October because my sister-in-law's due in October too.
Nice. Congratulations. So now you can just super casually drop it in, like, oh yeah, I was visiting my sister in the Niblets last week. Drop it in, and then if they don't know, you can be like, oh, you don't know.
Exactly. See, I learned. See, educational, like you said, we brought it back. That's a callback right there, all the way to the beginning.
I'm sure people have learned all kinds of things from listening to this interview.
Good or bad?
All kinds. It's so much fun, though. I just really want to thank you, Bob, for having us. In case
no problem. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming on.
Before I forget, I do want to thank everyone.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
What's been your like funnest moment on YouTube? Was it meeting Chrome, or is it like how many other? Because I'm sure you probably met a lot of other YouTubers and stuff while you've been out and about. Like,
we did have a lot of fun with Chrome.
For Chrome, we'll say it was Chrome, but
because actually before Chrome, because we got a good push off of that from Chrome, but at the beginning of that, it was just at the beginning, at the beginning of last summer, our van was featured on Exploring Alternatives.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, they're really awesome.
Yeah, and we had a great time with them.
See, I don't even know if those would be my favorite YouTube moments, though.
That involving other YouTubers.
Other YouTubers, for sure. I think one of my favorite YouTube moments, though, for us was we were at a van gathering. It was like our 1,000 subscribers or something not long ago. But we did like a one shot of a bunch of vans. I don't even remember my own video. 7 or something like that. Or I don't know.
It was like 14.
A lot of vans in a certain amount of minutes. And I think in hindsight, it was one of my favorite because it took everybody there like to work with us to do it. So it was a fun project to do. It was one shot, and I kind of love one shot things. I think they look cool. We should do more one shot. But I think maybe that might have been one of my favorite because then I got to see people that didn't have YouTube channels have a video to share. So, I mean, like YouTube liked us for that. It didn't hurt. But I think it was exciting to collaborate with people and to work with people. And it was probably the video that like could give back to the community a bit. And it was cool to see the differences in everybody's vans and what they thought was important in each one. Because we just had them say like, what's the best thing in your van? And it was so different that it really you can see how different everyone is. So that might have been my favorite actually that we did.
Yeah. Well, it just shows how much it is just like anybody else's house, right? Everybody's got a favorite thing about their house. It's you know.
Well, I thought it was so interesting because sometimes people would like their favorite thing would be a cool tech gadget or like an actual thing in their van, and sometimes their favorite thing would be something about their van that lets them do something. So even how people determined their favorite and what they used just also helped you say like not only are their vans different, but people get into van life for different reasons and people stay in it for different reasons. And that was cool because it says so much about like the humans in the vans. Well, I mean, vans are pretty, but like it's the motives behind it that I find really special.
Yeah, me too. The stories behind things is always, what's really cool. Like, what made you guys decide to go in a van? Was it watching YouTube videos or seeing it, and did you go camping when you were younger and already had exposure to it?
Well, we definitely love. I mean, I think it goes with being Canadian that you love the outdoors and
like
always want to spend time with it. But it kind of like evolved from the backpacking because we love traveling Europe, and it's so easy to get around there because they have a good train systems and good bus systems. But in Canada, it's very hard to get around if you don't have a car. And we lived in the city, so we didn't have a car, so we didn't really get out and explore our own country that much.
I think so. I mean, it was partially the cat too, because we knew about earth ships or like nature, like eco houses and alternative living. We knew we did not like the suburbs. We're like country or city people, but the middle, not too suburbs are lovely. But for us, we definitely did not want to buy a house in the suburbs. It just wasn't right for us. But then we also didn't want to get rid of the cat. So we were almost ready to just go, like as I think I mentioned before, full nomad and not have anywhere. But we knew van life existed and we knew alternative tiny living. So we were like, well, this is perfect. We can backpack whenever we want. We can leave the van, like store it or park it. His mom can watch the cat and we can come and go backpack wise. And then when we're home, we'll have a home that we don't have to like rebuild our life every time we travel. And we'll have the cat because we love the cat and we could never have given her up. So it's kind of a van because of the cat, or we would just be homeless. But it also through that so much more has come now. So now it's like van life is a part of it.
Right.
But,
No, that's really awesome. That's really awesome.
It's true. I mean, there's so many different reasons. But.
Yeah. I'm just always curious, like what sparks people's idea to get into it in the first place. Like you were saying, the story behind it, not just the van itself. So
yeah.
That's always more interesting to talk about too.
What are you excited about anything that you have coming up, either on your Instagram stories or that you're planning on shooting that you're excited to share with everybody?
Ooh, I mean, I am super excited to get my van done and film a van tour and share that. It's like keeping me free. As far as Instagram goes, it's mostly real time, real life. So I think I'm excited because as you mentioned, I've been experimenting with my captions over the last month. Like I really feel that in the last month or two, I changed my angle a bit, changed my game, and really have been my truer self on there, like having much more fun with it. So I'm hoping to keep having more fun. Maybe some of the captions will be a little more whimsical, a little silly. I'm just really enjoying that and like loving that right now and the community that I'm building there. So that will be good. And then I guess that's what I'm excited about on Instagram. And on YouTube, I'm really excited we have our van tour coming out next, hopefully on Sunday.
Awesome.
Thursday. And then I guess, but you are actually starting a YouTube channel soon.
I am starting a YouTube channel. I'm going to be starting when I have more time, obviously, when I'm not building a place to live. I'm going to be doing like a weird, strange, like history channel. Like it's not going to be like real life or anything. And I'm going to work a little bit on my animations, but that'll be for the future.
A lot of transitioning. I mean, we've got on Van Life Ontario on Instagram and Facebook, we will be hosting our meetup in August, which again is a little crazy because we want everyone to be so safe. But that's also a pretty big thing because we didn't think that was going to go through. Mm-hmm. And now we have 3 weeks to kind of reorganize something that was on hold for a few months. But that'll be really cool because it'll be bringing a lot of community members together. I mean, there's people in Ontario right now that would be awesome if they were able to come, but who knows? So feel like, I don't know. I guess you always feel like you're on the edge of the next big thing and it's very exciting all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And cool. So you're always, but yeah, and this was nice. So awesome. I'm excited on Instagram to follow your journey.
Awesome. Well, we're at the end of our hour, guys. So I'm gonna play the outro video, but go make sure the bot has been putting their links in on Instagram and YouTube. Go follow them over there, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And as always, stop waiting for life to happen and make life happen. Later, guys.